The leaders of the world's two biggest economies have wrapped up trade talks in South Korea. US President Donald Trump says his meeting with Chinese leader Xi Jinping was a great success and that he will head to China in April. Now, during a meeting in Busan, which lasted an hour and 40 minutes, the leaders made a number of decisions on tariffs and trade. Trump says China will begin buying US soybeans immediately, and there will be no more roadblocks on rare earth minerals.
I thought it was an amazing meeting. He's a great leader of a very powerful, very strong country, China. And what can I say? It was an outstanding group of decisions, I think, that was made. A lot of decisions were made, too. There wasn't too much left out there. And we've come to conclusion on many very important points.
Given our different national conditions, we don't always see eye to eye with each other, and it is normal for the two leading economies of the world to have frictions now and then. In the face of wind, waves and challenges, you and I, at the helm of China-US relations, should stay the right course and ensure the steady sailing forward of the giant ship of China-US relations. I always believed that China's development goes hand in hand with your vision to make America great again. Our two countries are fully able to help each other succeed and prosper together.
Oh, we have Katrina Yu live for us in Beijing. First, let's go to Rob McBride, who is in Busan for us. Rob, so if we are to base this on President Trump's comments, it seems these two leaders have had a very good meeting indeed.
Yeah, that's right. Donald Trump, talking to reporters on Air Force One as he leaves Asia, has been talking in typically hyperbolic terms about this, what he calls an amazing meeting, asked to rate it from 1 to 10. Yes, he gives it a 12, saying that a number of very important decisions were made. In terms of specifics, he says that China has agreed to immediately resume purchases of American soybeans. Now, this has been one of the more contentious aspects of this trade war. China, that normally buys billions of dollars worth of this agricultural staple, has suddenly reduced its purchasing of American soybeans virtually to zero, hurting many farming communities across the United States. China, according to Trump, has also agreed to work very hard to stop the export of fentanyl getting into the United States, which has been driving the drugs crisis in many communities there. In return for all this, Trump says that the general tariffs on Chinese exports will be reduced from its current 57% to 47%. And they've also agreed to build on what seems to be the convivial relationship at this summit, with visits to each other's countries, a state visit by Trump to China next April, he says, to be followed by Xi being invited to the United States sometime after that. Their paths crossed here at this airport in Busan as Xi Jinping was on the way into South Korea. He now continues his visit here, going to Gyeongju, where we have this summit of the so-called APEC group of countries. It's the economies around the Pacific Rim, while Trump returns to the United States after what's been a week-long swing through East Asia, starting in Southeast Asia through Japan, ending here in South Korea, with, according to the White House, we're hailing this as a big success, an armful of different trade agreements and deals, the most important of which, of course, is this deal with China, seemingly to try to resolve their trade war differences.
OK, many thanks for that. Rob McBride there for us in Busan, South Korea. Let's get the view from Beijing. Katrina Yu is there for us. So critically for China, Trump has eased some tariffs. What reaction have we had now from Beijing?
Well, we've just had a statement released from Xi Jinping via Chinese state media agency Xinhua. It is also overall quite positive, but it is very different to the comments that Trump made aboard Air Force One. So it reads that the sides, Xi Jinping says, agreed to work together in trade, energy and economics to maintain stability in overall US-China relations. It says that China never wanted to challenge or replace anyone, and that they reached an in-depth consensus. and that the two should focus on the long-term benefits of cooperation rather than falling into a vicious cycle of retaliation. So very different readout. It was lengthy, but there was no mention of specifics whatsoever. No mention of soybeans, no mention of fentanyl, no mention of rare earths. In fact, the only thing that Xi Jinping confirmed that Trump also said was that the leaders would visit each other's countries sometime next year. Indeed, he makes it seem in the statement that some issues are actually still pending because he says that the two sides still need to follow up. So I think we still need to wait to see if there's any more specific details that are indeed going to be released by either side. We do know, though, that one of Xi's other goals here was to show to Trump and to the world that China is not a hostile player, that it can be a reasonable, responsible world player, that it does want to genuinely cooperate, stabilize ties. I think that's a message he also wants to send, not only to Trump, of course, but to the other world leaders he may be meeting with at the APEC summit.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news and expert insights. Like, share, stay ahead.